398-9411.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
All right, everybody, what's happening? This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Want to set up today's show for you. And if you are listening on radio, you're going to want to stick around for a bunch of what we got cooking here. If you're watching on television on Channel 4 San Diego, part of the Cox Yorview Network, you're going to get an hour of today's show, but there's going to be stuff that won't make it onto TV. So I'm going to suggest that you come to our YouTube channel to catch up with stuff that you maybe want to see, but you don't get to see necessarily on TV. And for those of you that are on audio podcasts or on YouTube, you're going to be with us all day long. So we're happy to have everybody here. Great show coming your way. I want to tell you guys a very quick story, and then we'll jump into what's going on. Grande, Brown Man, let me ask you guys quickly. Do either of you guys collect or have any sports memorabilia of any kind? Because I'm not a collector, but I know a lot of people that have like thousands and thousands of baseball cards that they've had their whole lives. You guys remember the story of Linda Welby telling us that she was cleaning out her house and she found underneath like this, I don't know, in this storage compartment of her house, what she didn't realize at the time could be like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of baseball cards. So guys, any sports memorabilia collecting of any sort, what do you guys got?
Only collecting I'm involved in.
Okay, so you're not collecting baseball cards, football cards. You're not collecting, jerseys that are autographed and authenticated. You're not into any of that stuff, right?
I collect media passes.
Media passes, okay. Grande, anything?
And Basquiat's.
Yeah, he
right.
did used to collect
Facts.
Jean-Michel Basquiat's.
Still. I'm just running dry right now.
Art collector, got it. Alex, any sports memorabilia of any kind?
When I was a kid, I was into trading cards, and I think my mom still has my cards somewhere in the garage, which I'm sure would be worth a decent amount of money. But since none, no Pokemon, no.
What's the
no
best
baseball
card you remember
cards,
getting?
No jerseys. I had a few Jordan rookie cards, so I know those are something.
You need to find
I had a
those.
few Kobe. I know where they're at. Like I think I at the time I remember it even being like worth something when I was into it, because I think it was, what was the magazine called? Beckett.
There was like a magazine, dog.
There was like a magazine that would tell you how much they were worth. Yeah, so they're in there. Well, I'm going to Oxnard tomorrow, so
you're going to the Nard tomorrow. Hey, by the way, shout out to our man Joseph Cabral, longtime great friend, who yesterday sent us a tweet with a picture of a pizza and said, "Hey guys, guess where I am?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, no way. Are you at Topper's Pizza?" And he was like, "That's right. I'm in the 805. I'm in Grande's hometown. I'm in Oxnard. And because, Alex, you've been promoting Toppers for free for all these years, when our great friends cruise by, there they are. They're hanging out at a Topper's Pizza, pounding down
hiring.
pies." And they're hiring at Toppers.
Also, I want to give somebody else a shout out too. They hit us up on Instagram. Also at Toppers.
No way.
Yeah. Let me look at his name real quick.
We driving business there.
Dude.
Brian
seriously.
Wolf, shout out, bro. Brian Wolf on Instagram sent me a ton of pictures. He said, "Joe from San Diego during rush hour to Oxnard. Took me 4 hours. The pizza is delicious."
Jeez.
That's the only reason you went?
Maybe.
When are you coming back from the Nard this weekend?
At some point on Sunday. I don't know when.
Is there any chance at all?
No, zero.
Come on,
no,
dude.
zero.
Why you got to be like that? Why you got to be like that?
Dude.
Aren't we tight?
Because I don't live near one, and then I the freeway is the complete opposite end to where one is.
Wait, hold on.
Out of
You
my
mean
way.
to tell me that the entire time you're in the Nard,
Mm-hmm.
the entire time you're representing the 805?
I'm not going to be in the Nard. Where
are you going to
be? In LA, and I'm going to be in Santa Barbara. We're doing a bachelor party, so I'm not going to be in the Nard.
Is this your bachelor party?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you're not personally going to a Toppers. So in other words,
so.
Okay, but can I at least get this from you? You ready? If you go to a Toppers, will you get me a large to go?
Hey man, listen. Can I speak to Mr. 18 million, please?
Yeah. Who's that?
Is Mr. 18 million available?
I don't know who Mr. 18 million is. I know who's reported to be Mr. 18 million.
Can I speak to him?
Yeah, go
Allegedly.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You're talking to
Why
him.
don't, why don't we, Mr. 18 million, why don't we just open the toppers here?
You know what, dude?
I'm pretty sure we can franchise Mr. 18.
You know what, Brown? I'll tell you right now. It's a brilliant idea. We really ought to talk to these people from Topper's Pizza and say, listen, we want to buy the rights to San Diego and Orange County. And then we start opening up Topper's Pizzas all over the place.
And they're slowly but surely expanding outside of Ventura County. I know there's one in Valencia now, Simi Valley, which may still be Ventura County. But I know that these people, and I know where they get their I know where they get their LASIK. I got people scouting these owners for me. I guess people have been messaging me, bro.
Really?
So listen, Mr. 18, you know, this be good for your portfolio.
Yeah.
That's all. You know.
Hey, listen,
do you know that they just opened, but they opened one like in Ventura with a brewery.
Really?
Ooh, so now you got options for the liquor.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
A liquor license is hard to get.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, Topper's Pizza in San Diego would crush. You know?
Where would you put it?
I put them all over the place. I put them all over the place.
No, where would you put the first one? Where would you put the first one?
Well,
that's key.
It is.
It's a family restaurant.
Here's the thing, too. You guys got to understand something. Topper's Pizza is expensive. Like in that, I know for a fact that it's bomb because I've said this before. You got Mexicans up in there paying $30 for a large. Like
so
in a place where there's other places that offer $5 pies. They got $30 larges, and you got packed with Mexicans up in there paying for this.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. You said you showed that picture that Joseph sent yesterday of outside of Topper's with the help wanted sign, but it was the picture of the pizza itself that made everybody on Twitter go, oh, damn, when I go to Ventura County, when I find myself in the Nard, I'm getting one of those. Look at that pie. It looks like on the left
What's
side.
on it, though?
Well, I think what he's got is he's got like sausage, pepperoni, and it looks like Canadian bacon on half.
Green olives. Looks to be like some pineapples in there.
Look at like a Supreme on the top, and on the bottom, I think that's their meat lovers, which is pepperoni, salami, and meatball and sausage.
Yeah, it looks fire. It really does.
I think we just had a bread. I think we just had.
And this looks like a quick lunch too. This is like a small one. That's not a large. I mean, a large is a good amount of pizza.
Well,
you know what? Maybe I will go to Topper's this weekend.
Yeah, and maybe when you go to Topper's, you will hook your boy up with a large. I mean, listen, dude. When
I brought you one before.
Let's not. You have? Oh no,
this is market research. Get the pizza. We do market research, man. He's trying to open something up.
Yeah, you have 100%.
He's had it before.
Real quick.
You have, but I'm asking for, if you go, will you please bring me another one? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I'll
thank
try.
you. Okay, thank you.
My best.
All right, listen. So we started somewhere else. There was someplace else we started in this segment, and it wasn't Topper's Pizza. Yeah, it wasn't Topper's Pizza. It was something else. There was something else we were talking about, and I don't remember what it was. Does anybody remember? No.
I don't know how you got the joke of Raw doing shout-outs, but it was somewhere over there.
Yeah, it was something about let's see here. I don't
know, man. The first segment was so full of testosterone, just the yelling about whatever. I just like my adrenaline is up right now. I can't concentrate at the moment.
Just don't ask me about the space Hubble, man.
There's two things I never want to ask you about ever, but I never want to ask you about the Webb telescope again.
Ever.
I never want to hear you say the word Otani again or Othoni.
And both those things happen to start the show.
I know. Actually, I don't mind the Webb telescope one. I am fascinated by space myself, but the human thing, you lost me on the human thing.
I think it didn't have anything to do with where do you open the first one? Where do you open the first Toppers? I'll just say this. I definitely want to open the first Toppers in like the North County area because of what you said about how expensive it is. Because opening up your first place is kind of an important thing. I think I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, my buddies opened a place down in the La Jolla Shores called Jeff's Beach Burgers. Browner, have you made your way down there yet?
I'm going this afternoon.
Come on, you're kidding me. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff's Beach Burgers in the La Jolla Shores. Amazingly, the power of social media. I posted pictures on Facebook. I posted pictures on Instagram. Hey, my buddies opened up this new place. It's really awesome. So many people hit me up like, hey, I knew the original Jeff's Beach Burgers, or I grew up in that area and I knew that, wow, they revived it. It's cool. And I've said to my buddies, Jeff and Jeff, who own Jeff's Beach Burgers, I said, fellas, you opened the first one in La Jolla Shores because it's important where you open the first one. It's got to be like authentic. We're Jeff's Beach Burgers. We're in the La Jolla Shores. We got great burgers, great shakes. Today's National French Fry Day. They got bomb fries. I think they even got better onion rings. But I said to my buddy Jeff and Jeff, I said, hey, fellas, the next place to open a Jeff's Beach Burgers, very important when we get to store number 2, is right here in Cardiff. This is the place, because my friends at Best Pizza and Brew, dude, they just rake it in every single day and night. They're just raking it in. I want to put a Jeff's Beach Burgers right next to Best Pizza and Brew and right next to VG's Donuts. That's what I want to do. I'm looking at
get
the
rid of
second
that
location.
bar.
Yeah, the
Get
office.
rid of that bar. Nobody goes in there.
Yeah, seems a little seedy to me.
That's like that's like the dive bar of dive bars, and like not in a good way. It's like that's like the place that's open at 8 a.m. You don't want to go in there. You don't drink.
I don't know. I've never been in. I've never been in that place. I really haven't. I'm looking to take it over to put in a new Jeff's Beach Burgers. I'll tell you that right now. All right, listen, we are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. And if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, as a matter of fact, check them out. 7 Mile Casino is only 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego, and you're going to have a great time. Okay, guys, so we started off today talking about some Padres stuff. And yesterday I asked this question on the air. I've gotten a lot of feedback about it as well. I asked the question yesterday, do we talk too much Padres on the show? I realize they are the only game in town. They're the only major league product in town. And I don't want to insult the San Diego loyal who says, hey, USL soccer is Major League Soccer. You know what I'm saying? Like MLS is the top league. USL is right underneath those guys. Same thing goes for everybody else in town, whether it's you can say, well, no, you're wrong. The San Diego Wave of the National Women's Soccer League, they're the top dog in their league. True. But come on, can we not all agree? Like, do I have to keep going through this every time we have this discussion? The Padres are the big stars of town, particularly ever since the Chargers left. They became the only game in town. My question yesterday was, are we talking too much Padres? Or what do you guys think? And I received a lot of people who hit me up on different social platforms saying, I don't think you talk too much. I do think you talk enough. I feel like you guys have created a happy medium, but I don't think you talk too much, Padres. Okay, great. Because I felt like yesterday we wound up steering clear of a lot of sports. We wound up talking about a whole bunch of nonsense for 3 hours yesterday. But getting back to the Padres then from what happened last night, we started the show off with a couple of base running blunders. Luke Voit, bro, listen, as much as we criticize Eric Hosmer for being afraid of the ball.
Fly ball headed to left field, sending Hilliard back, but he'll have room in front of the warning track to make the catch. Tagging, heading for third is Luke Voit. Throw to third, he's going to be very out.
Very out.
That cannot happen.
Mark Grant.
No, it cannot.
That cannot happen. You know what's amazing about that play?
Come on, as he's running. Come on.
Yeah, you know what's amazing about that play, though, is that the left fielder, Hilliard, right? This guy, you would think most outfielders in Major League Baseball would be like, okay, so 6'5", 245-pound guy on second base, whatever Luke Voigt's official listing is. There's no way he's going to try and run. It's just the ball's hit to left field. If you're one of the fastest guys in baseball, maybe you try and run from second to third when the ball's hit to left field, especially deep to left field, but not when you're a big home run hitting kind of slugging kind of a player. But the fact that the left fielder had himself positioned to not only make the catch, but to make a perfect throw. Like, I'm surprised that the outfielder was like even willing to do it versus like, oh, routine catch. Let me just throw the ball to my cutoff guy. Like, because he's never going to run.
The left fielder did everything that you would expect him to do if it was a speedy runner at second. And he did it for Voit. So he kind of got fortunate that he didn't half-ass it, or he didn't he didn't dog the play. He actually did everything you're supposed to do by text. He set himself up proportionately to get the hop step in. And then I think when he caught it, he's like, oh, he really is going. And you could see like the quick, like, oh, he's going. I think he caught him by surprise still.
I don't know what Luke Voigt is doing other than making a decision on his own. It's like, hey, bro, here's the thing. See, we got this guy on third base in the box over here in uniform. He's the third base coach. He's going to tell you, no, hold up. He's making the catch. You're not a fast guy. You're not going to run. Luke Voigt seemed to have made that decision on his own. And here's what I would say. If you are Fernando Tatis and you take risks on the base path, we all say we understand that. We accept that. And by the way, more often than not, you've been really smart and successful with being aggressive on the bases. But when you're Luke Voigt and you're not considered a fast base runner, this is not Trey Turner we're talking about here. This is not Tatis we're talking about. This is a big home run hitting kind of a guy. Bro, if the ball's hit to right field to the warning track, go. If the ball's hit to left field to the warning track, do you not understand just basic fundamental baseball? Because if someone like me gets it, then someone like you should automatically get it. You're a pro baseball player. I'm just a loudmouth. I was pretty damn surprised by that play.
I thought that when he ran, he looked like he wasn't going to make it. Like when they cut to him, he was standing up. He didn't really have any stride. It just chill, bro. Just stay there. Let somebody knock you in. That's not your game. That's not you. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't upset with the
ended
the
up
rookie
costing
who
a
tried.
run too, because when Alfaro ended up tagging, because obviously he was at first, so he went to second, and the next player, I think it was Ruiz, gets an RBI. So it cost him a run. Like, he didn't need to go to third with one out.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like, you don't need to go to third. A single still gets you in. And the chances are, like, even if he's on third and if a sac fly, he's not fast enough probably to score from a sac fly.
Dude, what bothers me more than any of it, though, is that he shouldn't be making these decisions on his own. That's why you have a base coach to tell a guy, don't go, or let's go, be ready. I mean, this guy, and here's the other thing. Watch the end of this play. He
Play
slides
the audio again.
he slides in, he's tagged out, and instead of him like getting up like I'm safe, like I'm safe,
Well, dude.
like just to try and sell it.
Come on, man.
No, dude.
Come
watch,
on, man.
You watch
Sell
it.
what?
Dude?
Bro, he was halfway.
Well, let's put it this way.
Man,
Go to the next play. Go to the next play where the kid
Okay.
Ruiz gets thrown out. In that play, he was originally called safe, but Colorado challenged the call, and they found out that he actually was tagged out. Everybody who first saw it originally thought he was safe, but he got tagged out. Like, a half of an inch in front of third base. His fingertips almost touched. All I'm saying is that they weren't sure on that play. I'm not saying that it wasn't obvious that Luke Voigt was thrown out, but bro, at least act it out a little bit.
The best
Dude,
thing
you can't
Luke
act
Voigt
that
could've-
out, man.
The best
Dude, it was
thing
bad.
Luke
He
Voigt
just
could've
jumped
done
up
in
and was
that
like, I'm out.
situation. Just barrel the guy over. Just home plate him. Just truck him. That's the best case he got for he could have been safe, man. He was out before he was out. Like it would stop. Like if you play the audio, you can hear Mark Grant like literally know he's out. Like,
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it one more time. Let's watch it and hear it again.
Fly ball headed to left field, sending Hilliard back, but he'll have room in front of the warning track to make the catch. Tagging, hitting for third is Luke Voigt. Throw to third. He's going to be very out.
Oh no! Come on,
come on.
that cannot happen.
I like Don
Come on.
Orsillo. He's going to be very out.
Very out.
That's
Very
it.
out.
You see it.
Very
If
out.
there's a transcript of
You're
that
like,
play,
sell it. Sell it.
Orsillo goes, he's going to be very. You can see like Mud goes, oh no, and then Orsillo goes, he's going to be very out, and then Mud goes, come on, silence.
Yeah,
That can't happen.
that can't happen.
Yeah.
And you could hear the excitement in their voice when they saw him running, and then the sadness immediately come when the guy throws the ball.
Yeah. The moment you saw how slow he was, they were like, oh no.
Oh no.
He was
no.
tagged out as he's diving in. By the way, he's sliding in feet first. Most guys into third base, I mean, they're kind of barreling into your point.
Yeah, if you have a chance.
Yeah.
Right.
He's thrown out and he's tagged out and he pops up and he takes his helmet off and he's walking to the dugout. There's not even the remotest possibility that he could sell to the umpire. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Or make the umpire even go, oh, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I mean, he is out. He's very out.
Very out.
That's
All right.
embarrassing, man.
I
That was
know,
some
man.
dumb baseball yesterday.
It
dude.
is,
That was
but
some dumb baseball.
But
yesterday.
again, if Tatis, as an example, if Tatis tried to steal a base when a ball is hit to deep left field from second to third, if Tatis is trying to tag up and he gets thrown out, we all are like, hey, that's Tatis. He's had some really aggressive base running moments where he has gone from first to third when no one thought he should have gone past third, but he has a really good, keen sense on the base paths. Plus, he's really fast. This guy, bro, don't think. Do what you're told. Get coached. Don't make unilateral decisions for the whole team.
I'm glad that you said get coached. Let me ask you guys a question. We can talk about this if you want, because I think it's time to start talking about it. How much of a slump, of a funk, of sloppy, dumb baseball are we going to let the team go before we start looking at the manager? This is what we brought you here for, to ride the ship. This is what we brought you here for these things not to happen.
Well, let's discuss that. Let's talk about that coming up. Before we do, hey, just a quick shout out to our friends from Mazda of Escondido and MazdaofEscondido.com. Hey, Alan, the general manager there, has been asking me to ask you guys, bring him your used cars. You want to get paid top dollar? You want to bring in your used car, walk out with a bunch of money because your used car is worth more than ever before? Bring it to Mazda of Escondido, MazdaofEscondido.com. Let's talk about that. How much blame should go to Bob Melvin and his coaching staff? We'll get there next. This is Kaplan and Crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
Please welcome in tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again on Main Street Living.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be back.
So, of course, we have more tax questions for you. First of all, what are the types of business entities that business owners can use?
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd ask this question. So this time of year, this is when, business owners probably just got handed a pretty big tax bill. And so naturally, the next question is, how can they save taxes? How can they save on taxes? And so that's where these business entities really, they may come in. So yeah, what we're looking at is corporations or limited liability companies, more commonly called LLCs. So definitely by using either a corporation or an LLC, business owners may be able to really save on taxes. For the most part, when we talk about tax savings, we're looking at like an S Corp election. And so again, an LLC can do that, a corporation can do that. But the net result is you want to save on what's called self-employment tax. So for 2022, a business owner is going to, by default, pay self-employment tax on the first $147,000 of taxable income. So that's 15.3%. By doing an S Corp election, putting yourself on payroll, you can really drive down how much of your income you have to pay that 15.3% at. Beyond the tax savings, it just offers an extra level of protection between the business owner's personal assets, say their home, and their business operation. So, no matter what business you operate, you're going to have some exposure to liability. So an entity like a corporation, like an LLC, it just puts that extra level of protection between the business and then what the owner has on their personal side.
Yeah, well, clearly a plethora of information that you always provide to us, Adam. We appreciate you being on the show. Where can our viewers get in touch with you for more tax help?
Yeah, like always, they can visit my website, triumphovertax.com, or feel free to pick up the phone. You can always give me a call, 619-591-9500.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on your view, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. And visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends. It is Wednesday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew, along with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. If you're just getting with us, we've spent a lot of time so far today talking about the Padres, what happened last night in Colorado, who should be taking responsibility or blame for base running blunders. We'll get back to some of that stuff coming up. I also want to get to today, ESPN keeps putting out now their top 10 list of top 10 best players at each position in the NFL. Yesterday was quarterbacks. We talked about that. Today is wide receivers. Browner, this list, have you seen this ESPN list yet?
I haven't seen it, but I know who better not be number one.
Okay, well, don't look it up, okay? Because I want to surprise you a little bit later on with ESPN's top 10 list of NFL wide receivers going into the season. All right, stick around for that.
Ohtani.
So for those of it should be Ohtani, right? Just to really stick it to you, you know? All right, let me just get back to this story. So I was telling the story earlier today that my girlfriend told me that she found some sports memorabilia in her house tucked away in a linen closet. So, you know, out of the sun, well protected, in glass. I've got it for those of you that are watching right now. I've got these two pieces sitting right next to me. This is a Marshall Faulk autographed football in a record-setting year back in 2000. And this basketball is the 2002 Lakers championship basketball, Shaq, Kobe. And from what I can tell, every player on the team autographed the ball. I just don't have any certificates of authenticity, so I have no idea what this stuff is worth. Well, it turns out I started asking around a little bit about who knows this industry. This is an unbelievable kind of stroke of luck here. So I find a guy named Joe Olivieri. But the thing about Joe Olivieri is this. Joe Olivieri is like the general manager at 7 Mile Casino, but he also has another deal going on called SD Collectibles. You can find their website, sdcollectibles.com. I'm like, wait a second. So Joe is the SD Collectibles guy, but he's also the GM down at 7 Mile Casino. This could not have worked out better for me because we broadcast from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. We go down there all the time. So now I got a friend in the biz. So here he is. From sdcollectibles.com. Joe Olivieri is with us. Hey, Joe, how are you, man?
Good. Thank you for having me on, Scott.
Well, first and foremost, me, Alex, and Brown are here. We had the best time when we did our first ever supper club down at 7 Mile Casino. We had 30 listeners / viewers. We had a great dinner. Sammy's Restaurant and Bar is bomb. But then we all got done, and we all went over to the casino, and we had such a great time that night. So, I mean, I love 7 Mile Casino. Little did I know that you were in the business of sports collectibles as well. So this works out really, really well for both of us.
Yes, it does. The business of sports collectibles and such may be a little bit of a stretch. I am the general manager here at 7 Mile Casino, and that's my first priority. The sports collectibles, cards and such is a hobby that I do with, I really got into it a little more recently with my sons and a few of my good friends, and it's kind of grown out of that over the last year and a half. I think that with the pandemic, people being inside, businesses being shut down, it really reinvigorated that hobby, and it did for me as well. And like I said, my sons and a few friends. So yeah, it's still a hobby for us. Yeah,
I understand. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. But wait a second. But when I was doing some research, because I found these, well, you've heard the story by now. My girlfriend found these pieces of sports memorabilia, and she was like, do you think they're worth anything? And I said, I really don't know. I don't know anything about the business. And then you and I were connected. And now it turns out that you have a big show coming up. You know, you call it a hobby, and that's cool. But there's a big show coming up down at the Scottish Rites. I think it's called Center in Mission Valley. Can we, before we get into sports memorabilia stuff, can you tell us about the show you guys have coming up?
Sure, I'd love to. Right, we're having it right there in the heart of Mission Valley at the Scottish Rite Event Center. And they used to have shows there for several decades. I attended sports card shows at the Scottish Rite Event Center in the 80s and early 90s. And when we do shows or go to shows, people always talk about that. So and when I say we, I mean my buddy Aaron and I, which are the San Diego SD Collectibles, which is for San Diego Collectibles. We at San Diego Collectibles are putting a show there on August 6th and 7th. We have a big show, 120, 130 plus vendor tables there. We have autograph signers in person. We will have quite a selection, probably the best concentration and selection of sports cards and memorabilia in the city of San Diego that's been put on in quite a few years. So we're really looking forward to that.
Did I see that Steve Garvey is going to be there one of the days to sign autographs?
Yes, sir. Steve Garvey will be there on Sunday from 11:30 to 1:30. He's a Padre great, got us to the World Series in '84. Raleigh Fingers will be there right after Steve Garvey. He'll be there about 2 o'clock, 2 to 4. And we just announced last week that we have Charger great Paul Lowe. He'll be there on Saturday. Yeah.
All right, cool, man. So for people who love this kind of stuff, I mean, this is a great event. But for me, what I found most interesting looking at the website SD Collectibles, so for a guy like myself who has a bunch of stuff but doesn't know what it's worth or how to sell it, you're telling me, Joe, that the average person can like, I guess I would call it rent space or buy space, and can bring our collection down, and we, even if you're not like in the business, we can actually come and present our stuff and possibly even sell it. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. We have a few different options. We have several different table rental options for vendors. So it's a 2-day event, August 6th and 7th. We have some different options, as I stated, for 6-foot, 8-foot, and 12-foot tables. So depending on the size of your collection and really what you want to do, you can bring your collection down, whether it's sports cards, whether it's memorabilia, autographed items. There's TCG trading card game, which consists a lot of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And there'll be other collectibles as well, like Funkos, comics, even action figures like Marvel figures and Star Wars. So if you have some stuff tucked away in your closet, even if you're not an active or avid collector of sports cards or TCG cards or things of that nature, you can bring some of that stuff down, and we expect several thousand people to come through on Saturday and Sunday as buyers just looking for what their particular niche is in the collecting community here in San Diego.
All right, we're talking to Joe Olivieri this afternoon. He is the general manager at 7 Mile Casino. So if, by the way, you're a great friend and you stop by 7 Mile Casino, ask for Joe. Make sure you say hello. Give him a high five, a fist bump. Hug it out with him. Tell him to bring it in. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a great friend too. But he has a hobby, which is sports collectibles, and he's got a big show. His website is sdcollectibles.com. He's got a big show in early August. Steve Garvey's signing autographs. Raleigh Fingers is there signing autographs. Paul Lowe will be there signing autographs. And you can either go in and look to buy stuff, or perhaps you want to, get some space and you want to sell some stuff. Joe, here's a question for you. I have 2 pieces of sports memorabilia that were just found. This right here is it says record-breaking season, Marshall Faulk, the 1,000 Club, 1,381 yards rushing, 1,048 yards receiving, and it's autographed by Marshall Faulk. I don't have any paperwork on this. I don't really know if it's quote-unquote authentic. Can you explain the process of authentication? Authentic, or is it authentic? Whatever. Can you explain the process of how this happens? And are you doing this at the show?
Yeah, that's a great question. We will have a company called JSA, which is James Spence Authenticators. They're a very well-known authenticator of sports autographs and autographs of actors, actresses, and things of that nature. And they'll be there Saturday and Sunday. And the great thing is that if you don't have a certificate, you can bring your items down to our event at the Scottish Rite on August 6th or 7th, and they will be doing same-day authentication. So you drop it off, I believe their items start at $20 and go up from there, depending on basically the difficulty of them authenticating it. However, what they will do is they'll look and research your item, such as your Marshall Faulk football, or you said, I mean, I can't wait to take a look at those, that basketball with Shaq and Kobe and so on, the whole 2002 Lakers team, I think it was. I'd love to see those. But you can bring those down and they will research those autographs, look them over, and they give out certificates of authenticity. And it does make quite a difference if you have a certificate of authenticity for one of your items, be it a piece of memorabilia like you have, or whether it's a sports card or a photo. It just adds not only credibility, but also value to your item. So there are a few companies out there that do that. This one, JSA, is a very recommended and respected company that does that authentication, and they will be there both Saturday and Sunday. His name is Chris that'll be there at the show. Stop by and say hello. If you have an item, please feel free to drop it off and see if you can get that item authenticated.
Check this one out. Here, let me just show this to you really quick. Browner, hold on one second. Let me just show this to you really quick. Look at this right here. So this basketball, it says it down here on the bottom. It says 2002 World Champion Los Angeles
You
Lakers.
couldn't have dusted it before you showed it?
I mean, yikes, guy.
I mean, dude, the thing has been sitting. I mean, I literally, this thing has been sitting in a like linen closet, protected from the sun. And yeah, it's pretty freaking dusty, to be honest with you. And I can only figure out, there's a couple of names on here, like signatures. Like I can see the Kobe signature on the back of the ball, but I got to get this thing authenticated. I don't know what it's worth, even if it had a certificate of authenticity, but I suspect it's probably worth more today than it was, frankly, when Kobe Bryant was alive. So check this thing. I mean, Joe, these are pieces that were just found, and I'd like to get some certificates of authenticity and see what they're worth.
I think that's a really great idea. Whether you want to keep it, they are great pieces. Whether you want to keep it and display it in a man cave or game room or somewhere in your office, or if you're looking at, hey, I really, this isn't something that's all that special to me, but let me get it authenticated so I can turn around and sell it and get the most value for it. Whatever your desire, I think that's a great avenue to go down. Whether it's pieces of memorabilia that are autographed, or even if you have some cards that you want to bring in, and if you don't have enough, let's say, where you're interested in a table, you can bring a box of cards in and talk to some of the different vendors. Most every vendor that'll have a table there, they buy, sell, and trade. Maybe you trade something for an item that you like a little bit more, or you sell it to them. So there's a lot of different options that you can do. And
Scott, I'm looking online with the certificate of authentication. Lakers 2002 team signed basketball, Kobe, Shaq, Phil, that whole team. Someone's selling one for $5,000.
Wow. Wow. $5,000.
Yep.
I mean, you got to understand, Joe, this thing was sitting in a linen closet. Nobody even knew it existed. Joe, we for many,
how often though
many
is that
years,
the case for a lot of these collectibles?
Right.
How often is that people just find things, right?
Right. There are people who have cards, especially, or memorabilia in their closet or tucked away somewhere that was either theirs years ago or that a family member had left for them. And they bring them down to the shows because that's just really not their hobby or their interest. So they say, hey, I'd rather give this to someone who will appreciate it a little bit more and maybe display it and enjoy it, and they'll get some money for it. And then they can go and use that for whatever it is that interests them. So it happens. We run some smaller shows each month in San Diego, much smaller shows than the 130 table show that we're doing August 6th and 7th. And I would say that every show there are people who come in with cards, or at the very least a story talking about what they have at home in a closet that someone left them. There's a gentleman, Steve, that came to our show last month and set up, and he had baseball cards, a lot of Mickey Mantles, Hank Aaron's, Pete Rose, stuff from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. He had an incredible collection. He had more than he could display. I told him about our August 6th and 7th show, and he went right online and booked a table for it, a 12-foot table. He was excited to get some of that out there. And with this particular individual, his father had left him these cards and he hadn't even pulled them out of the closet in many, many years. So him and his sister brought those cards down to sell at the show, and they'll be at our August 6th and 7th.
Joe, can I ask you what is the most expensive collectible you've seen at one of your shows? Because when I remember when Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather, he was wearing a $5.3 million Pokemon card around his neck, and my mind blew that a card could be worth that much money. What's the most expensive thing you've had at one of your shows?
Wow. You know, that's a great question. I'd have to think about that a little. The nice thing about the shows, I've seen some different cards that are one of ones that are extremely rare. And a one of one just means that there's only one of those cards out there. And it can be worth well in excess of $10,000. I've seen some items that a few folks at the show have said to the person carrying that card around, you really need to go and get that graded and really look up what the value of that card, because it could be a $25,000 card. The nice thing about our shows and about our shows, our monthly shows and this show, is there's something for everyone. So there are bargain boxes where you can find some really nice cards for $1, $2, $3. And then they'll have cards in cases that are autographed or just very rare cards or very old vintage cards that may be worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. If you come to that show and you see a handful of $10,000 cards, it wouldn't surprise me at all. So there's really something for everyone, right? Not everybody. Oh, go ahead.
Businesses are always like transforming. And as you're speaking of these cards, you said Marvel and you said a couple other things as well. As collectibles start to expand, especially in San Diego because of Comic-Con, you have a lot of Marvel collectibles. You have a lot of DC collectibles. You have a lot of comic book collectibles. How do you narrow down what you put in the space?
Well, it's a little bit different for each vendor, each seller. Some of them will have strictly sports cards. Others will have some of the Marvel and some of those types of collectibles, right? There are others that might have strictly Funko Pops and things. And then there are quite a few vendors that have a little bit of each, right? So a lot of times in the shows, it depends on what they know and what they have. My recommendation and kind of what I go by is what interests me the most. So I'm more into sports than I am some of the non-sports items such as Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Marvel. So if you came to a table that I had, it's going to be 90% sports items and 10% other. It might have some Funkos. I usually have some Pokemon and some Yu-Gi-Oh! There, but mine is mostly sports. And I would say that probably 30 to 40% of the people have a variety, right? They may have some of the action figures, Star Wars, some of the Marvel, some comics, but the majority of them, you'll go to a table and they might have just comics and just Hot Wheels, red lines, and things like that. And others you'll go to that will specialize in just sports cards. Maybe it's just vintage, or others still may have most of the newer stuff the last 5 years. So,
have you ever seen something sell and you go, I can't believe that?
Usually, if you mean because it was so expensive or so inexpensive, I'm surprised every time. There are some incredible items out there. And I think when you say, I can't believe that, it lends itself to everyone. There's so many different interests for people with their hobbies and their collectibles, right? Like Scott has an amazing basketball from the year that Kobe and Shaq were on the team, and one of the best coaches ever. And it's
Allegedly.
in a closet, right? And Marshall Falk, I mean, a multiple-time MVP, Super Bowl winner, college great here in San Diego State, and it's in a closet. But the nice thing is, see, those type of things would be in my game room. I'd be showing them off every time someone comes over to watch a game. So everyone has different interests, and I think that's what makes the hobby so much fun, and you're constantly learning and kind of expanding what you like.
We're talking to Joe Olivieri this afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew. So, Joe, before you leave, why don't we just promote it one more time? Let people understand where this is, when it is, and what they have, access to. Let's go with the dates first. Alex, maybe you could put this up on the screen. SDcollectibles.com. Joe, August 6th and 7th. What time of day? Is it all day long? Tell us.
Yes, it is. It's August 6th and 7th. It's a Saturday and Sunday right there in the heart of San Diego, Mission Valley at the Scottish Rite Center. It starts at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., so it's an 8-hour show both days for the general public. If you go online and you buy the VIP pass, which is just $10, it gets you entry for both days, and you get in an hour earlier each day. Some folks like to get in that early bird time to see if they can find some of those special deals from the different vendors. So if you go online and you purchase your ticket, you can get the VIP. It's a 2-day entry for $10 total, and you can get in an hour earlier than the general public. If you're someone who has some collectibles, you're in the hobby, or you just have some really nice items that you'd like to bring and set up at a table, we have at least 3 different options. We have a 6-foot, an 8-foot, and a 12-foot table option, and you can go online and look at those. It's a 2-day event for the vendors as well.
Hey, Joe Olivieri stopping by. All right, listen, lots more to get to, including, I got to put this list in front of Browner, the best receivers in the NFL, according to ESPN. We'll get there. Stick around. This is Kaplan and crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Rome comes home. Yes, I said it. You can now catch the Jim Rome Show Monday through Friday, noon until 3 p.m. on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Back to San Diego, where it all started, on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westville High School, Tiffany George. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Chavez Middle School, Zar Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
I thought I was okay. I had a degree, I had work experience. I should be able to provide for my kids. But they're just things that you don't plan on in life.
My husband got laid off and we are a family of 5.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I would ask the doctors, what can I do? And they would just say, just make sure she's eating. Our lives just changed completely. Thank God that we always had a plate of food.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
The San Diego Wave dropped their match against rival Angel City on Saturday. The Wave dropped the match 2-1, snapping their 4-game unbeaten streak. In the 60th minute, Kristen McNabb evened up the game with her first goal of the season for the Wave. The match was a back-and-forth affair, but San Diego had multiple missed opportunities in the loss, and Angel City was able to maintain the lead in the latter half despite being down a player. Saturday's match was the first match the Wave had without 5 of its starting women who are active in international play. Next up for San Diego, they'll take on Racing Louisville on Friday. The last time these two teams met, Racing got the win. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View.
Oh, shit. It's actually 6 minutes.
Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, great friends. Those of you who are watching on Cox, on Channel 4 San Diego, Channel 4 Santa Barbara, or anywhere in Southern California on the Cox Your View network, we had been promoting for a long time Egg Fest down in Chula Vista. And on the weekend of, let's see, it was June 12th, Sunday, June 12th, that's when the event went down. So Grande, Brown Man, let's show all of the Cox viewers what they missed. Did you guys have fun? This was a great event. I loved it.
More importantly, there was lots of food, lots and lots and lots of food.
Yeah. There were also a lot of listeners that came down.
A lot of listeners, yeah.
A lot of listeners who live in the South Bay area that were like, hey, I knew you guys were going to be nearby, so I came over. And by the way, here's one thing that's interesting. Not only were there a lot of listeners, a lot of female listeners, which I thought was super cool. And what I hear from the ladies is, I love it when you guys talk sports, but I really love it even more when you guys aren't talking sports.
Yeah, it's when you bring, this much sex appeal to a show, you get a different audience, Scott,
Facts.
I know.
Facts.
Sexy.
I mean, look at these 3 mugs,
Totally.
That saying face for radio doesn't apply here.
Hey, there was one lady that showed up, 62 years old, white woman. All she wanted to do was talk about how Browner's her boyfriend. And I'm like, see, Brown? I'm like, this is your demo, man.
That's right.
Alex, show us, what are we going to take a look at? So this is exclusive for Cox. I mean, we'll talk about this on air, but this is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox Channel 4 in Your View. What are we going to look at here first, Alex?
What do you want to look at first? You have Browner being a drone videographer. You have pictures of food. You have we talked to Brian after.
All right, let's do this. Let's start off with food, because that's what Egg Fest was really all about. It was all about the food, right? So what are you going to show us here? Let's take a look.
This stole the show, right? I mean, you gotta.
Right. Yeah. Pig on the big green egg, which, to me doesn't look great, but it was pretty damn good. No, it doesn't look good.
Oh, it looks, when I walked in, that was the first thing I saw. I walked in to the left. This guy had that big green egg wide open. I was like, well, I know where I'm camping. This is where I'm going right here.
I couldn't eat it, man. It was too much. It was too close to looking like a real pig, man.
Well, it was a real pig.
It was a real pig.
I like to eat my food anonymously. I don't like it. I don't like to look at it and then put it in my mouth. I couldn't do that.
When I get a burger, it's just a burger.
Right.
I need to see the cow that it came from.
Bro.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't eat it, man.
Any other Any other food shots that we should take a look at? Because you like the pig. We didn't really love the pig.
Did you guys end up trying the bacon wrapped Oreo?
I did not try the bacon wrapped Oreo, but I think on the right side here, there's a bacon wrapped piece of chicken. Is that what that is?
No, it was a pork belly.
Oh, that's the pork belly. Oh, and what's that little sandwich you got going there?
Pulled pork sandwich.
Dude, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
That looks really good.
You know what's funny is that this whole time you just keep going from tent to tent to tent to tent, eating. I didn't take any pictures at all. Like the only reason I took a picture of the bacon wrapped Oreo was because I was going to text it to my lady. I was like, dude, they got bacon wrapped Oreos here.
You said they were pretty bomb though.
Okay, so it's really it was confusing. It really was confusing. You take a bite and your mouth is like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? And then the more you eat it, you're like, yeah, this is actually fantastic.
How about
bacon wrapped Oreo?
How about any pictures? Any pictures you got, Alex, of us with lots of listeners that were down? Because that was fun. That to me was a lot of fun. Hanging out with great friends. Oh, look at this crew right here. This is a great crew. Fat Tony's in the house. Tommy. This couple right here, they're wonderful. I love these two to my left. And then my friend Suzanne is on the far left. But this is a really wonderful couple, drinking beers, supporting. That was great. Anybody else? Oh, this lady right here. She works for the county of San Diego. What a sweetheart she is. She gave me her phone number. I went to text her to give her my phone number, and she gave me a landline. So I maybe I put the wrong phone number in. I don't know. Who else?
Girlfriend?
Oh, Browner's girlfriend. This woman. She's like, I love
boo?
Browner.
Sup, boo?
That's your girl, huh, Brown?
Yeah, that's my girl right there. Shout out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. She gave me her Instagram.
Her husband
handle.
understand.
Her husband was like, I get it. That's Cheryl Delaney, by the way. Cheryl
Her husband
Delaney
was like, take her.
Hey, Alex, show us the video. I know I talked to Brian a little bit. He was super excited about how the day went down. Show us that video if you could. Let's take a look. Yo, so we promoted Eggfest for a long time. And today, Brian Bushfield, what do you think?
Huge success. Big. Look at it. We got 20 chefs, 40 eggs.
20 chefs, 40 eggs. We're walking in circles.
Tailing off. We would have been here an hour ago. We couldn't have done this video. There were so many people. Beer garden, huge success.
Yeah, and we did so much of the promotion besides radio was exclusive on Cox. So for everybody that's watching on Cox, dude, way to come out and support. Nice.
Right. And I mean, if you're thinking about advertising, Scott, Kaplan and crew, Cox Cable, way to go.
Thank you for that. All right, it's unsolicited. There you go. Thank you, Brian.
Unsolicited.
God, I'm fat. I got to lose weight. I need to lose.
Come on, man. That's what you saw.
Dude, I got to lose 15 to 20 pounds. Hey, look, bottom line is this. To all the Cox Your View viewers out there, we really appreciate your support. And we'll keep on doing this where there's just Cox exclusive content.
The NFL lives here. If it's about the NFL, you found the right station. Join 1090 every Sunday during the NFL season for the exclusive SoCal home of not one, but two NFL games every Sunday during the season on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
What keeps me coming back is just learning more about myself in the classroom, and as I learn more about myself, I can share more about myself with my students, and I can open up more and care more and love more and teach more by example.
Teaching is just one of those things that if you have a heart for it, you've found your place, and I have found my place. I get to help little people realize what it means to learn something for the first time, and that's something like reading that will be with them for the rest of their lives.
Still a little bit overwhelmed, maybe a little bit surprised. You know, you don't go into teaching for awards, you go into teaching because you sincerely believe you can make a difference in young people's lives, and that's kind of what got me into the field in the first place.
We use our phones to order our food, catch a ride, share our stories, and so much more. SDCCU made banking from your mobile device easy too. You can do so much, get up-to-date account balances, check on pending deposits, transfer money, deposit checks, and more. Safely and securely, all through the convenience of your smartphone. SDCCU. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Hello and welcome